Good morning, Midland, Texas. A super interesting story this morning. I'm going to title it, The Press is Deleting News Stories, or something like that. And what happened this morning is I wake up, I turn on my computer, check my Facebook, etc. And I've got a Facebook friend, John, and he often shares memories of mine that come from my Facebook. So on September 10th, 2018, I posted a news story, and it was about a death here in Midland. Okay, and then I put a little comment up there. Did they get the cameras disabled this time? And that was a reference to my cameras. Here on the night that I was ambushed and shot, my front two cameras was disabled. About the time I got to the hospital. We assume by Martin County Sheriff Woodward and late Midland Sheriff Deputy Naylor. They arrived at 11:11, and then my cameras are disabled at 11:22. That's another story in itself. And then the inside camera, there was an attempt to disable it at 3:16 a.m. And a few minutes later, we see pictures of the secret police. And what they did was actually start the camera when they tried to disable it. So that was the reference there on, but that's not this story either. This story is about this news story from a year ago. Police investigating crime scene in Midland. There are reports of a body at 518, and so this is coming from News West 9. Okay, and so that was a year ago. Okay, and so I click on that, and it's gone. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, when the news starts deleting news stories, red flags go up, and I'm going to tell you a little history about that in a minute. But that's a big old red flag. Like, wonder what they're hiding. They changed something. There was a reason that didn't accidentally happen. And I can show you. So I'm going to tell you some other stories about that. And so I did more research on. On this date. If you click on the date here, and there was actual my post, and once again, it wasn't having to do nothing with the memory. It was actually been, that news story's been deleted. So I did a Google search for that date, and I went looking for this story, and I found it. Here's one on the Midland Reporter Telegram. This is the same story that News West 9 had deleted, and basically, it's 600 block Andrews Highway. That was the Kent Quick convenience store. Man, Sean Michael Sanchez, parked in the parking lot since 10 o'clock, and he's found dead, a 33-year-old man. Okay. So we found it on the Midland Reporter Telegram. We know his name. CBS 7, police investigating body found in Midland. This is the same story News West 9 deleted. Okay. And Sean Michael Sanchez was the guy's name. And so the young man, 33, I went and looked at his obituary. There's a picture of him. And interestingly, his sister is one of my Facebook friends. And of course, I have 5,000 Facebook friends. And so I sure don't know them all, and or how even they got, on my Facebook friends list. Maybe they heard my story. Maybe they were under my house. Maybe they know somebody involved in the crimes, whatever. But anyway, when I read through the obituary, then I could tell his sister was one of the Facebook friends. I actually had 7 mutual Facebook friends with Sean Michael Sanchez, and I'll show you that in a minute. And so I don't really know what they decided, if this was undetermined, if it was a suicide, natural death, or possible murder. I really don't know. I think that's a young age to die, and so. There's the sisters, I think here. He survived. Has 2 sisters, Alexis Johnson, husband Denny, Amber Lopez, husband Ricky of Midland. Okay. One brother here, Jaime Rodriguez of Midland, and Michael Slacks. Okay. And so, and I could tell when I looked at his Facebook post, he was a much loved guy. His friends and his family, wrote super nice things about him. And this is he worked for Mudsmith. Okay. Midland. Okay. And here was a link I found when I went back on his timeline as the September 11th, the day after he's found. This is a News West 9 article. Police identify body in Midland. I'm going to click on that. Bada bing, bada boom, it worked. Okay, so they deleted that first story, and then they reposted a second story. News West 9 did, and so I have no idea which what was in the one that was deleted, but this one was the one. And maybe here she was the author, Kirsten Geddes or whatever, Victor Blanco. Maybe them two can explain why they were deleting the first news story or whatever. I really don't know, but we know News West 9 come back and they did do a news story on it that they didn't delete. Okay. And so, and then the mutual friends right here, okay, and that looks like the sister, I believe, and she is on my friends. Actually, all these people are on my friends list, and so I think that's pretty much all. Oh, here, we can do that one more time. Yeah. This is the sister. It's on my friends list, right? Okay, and then we have two mutual friends, Rocky Gutierrez and Leslie Belcher, and that's the sister that's on my friends list. Okay, and none of that is saying anything. It's just okay. Now, what I'm going to move on is the story is about the press deleting news stories, because that's what I was showing you. Why did they delete that news story about Sean Sanchez? And I made a video 4 months ago, and here I'm just going to play the first few minutes of this video.
5th, 2019, I was doing research on News West 9 for stories for Eric Perez, okay? And I'm going to back this off. I did an advanced search on Google, like you saw, and we can see here's a story, okay? And you can see it's visited, last visit, 4/25/19, Eric Perez, man on the run, speaks out, okay? Here it is, man still at large after high-speed chase, 4/25, okay? Here's another in 4/25, fugitive, and then one more here, okay? And then this last one here, okay? And then what I did is I went up, I had a screenshot from actually December 28, 2012, of one of these stories from News West 9 that was selectively deleted. And I spoke to, I believe it was a producer, maybe Jacqueline, something like that. I had a long conversation, told her my entire story. And I told her about, that these news stories were selectively deleted. And she said all data since 2014 before that was accidentally deleted. They couldn't get no information. And so I said, well, not all of it's deleted, because here's this I'd all found. There's like 5 or 6 stories here that are still online, but some of them with the same dates are deleted, okay? So here I am today doing more research, and today is April 30th, 5 days later after I spoke with the News West 9 rep, and watch this. I'm going to click on this link. It's gone. They removed it. After I talked to her, she removed it, okay? I'm going to click on the next one. It's gone. This is very possible evidence that's connected to the capital murder attempt on my life. Once again, it's removed. Okay, every story. After I talked to News West 9, and I was trying to get a copy of these stories, not the ones that were online, because last week I could get to them stories, and now they're gone. Okay, and so this is a bigger news story, and I'm going to go over. Basically. Okay, now I'm not going to play that whole video. You can go look at it. It's called Wanted for Capital Attempted Murder, posted 4 months ago on my YouTube channel, and it's very interesting. But what it did want to show you there, it was absolute proof that News West 9 had selectively deleted news stories that I had just talked to them about a few days prior. And I was up there trying to get news stories that had already been deleted. And I was telling them my whole story, how I felt like Eric might have a connection to the murder attempt on my life and all that. And Devin Sanchez, she was married to John Woodward, the first law enforcement officer seen arriving at my house, a Martin County sheriff. Here's a sheriff from a whole different county showing up at my house minutes after I survived a capital murder attempt, and here's a reporter that worked for News West 9 at the time, Devin Sanchez. She's now director of communications for the city of Midland. She was a CBS
24/7 news anchor. She was married to the first guy that showed up minutes after I survived a premeditated murder attempt, and then there was news stories deleted. And so here I'm up there, I'm asking about the news stories, and next thing you know, 4 days later, they delete everything, everything. And it was like, I wasn't even trying to get a copy of them. They were already online. And once I said something to them, they'd come back and deleted them. And I was showing proof of it. Okay. And here is, I took screenshots and saved these back from 2012, okay, and on this Eric Perez, and basically what happened, this was a News West 9 story, okay, that was deleted. This is one of the ones I was trying to get a hold of, okay, and that's why I went up there and talked to him, and there I had the timestamp on it, on December 28, 2012, and they were saying that a man is on the run after attempting to run over a sheriff's deputy in Martin County. Now keep in mind that, the first person to show up was Martin County Sheriff John Woodward, okay, and it said he's wanted for attempted capital murder, okay. Well, what happened is I sent this email, okay, called True Miracle to a lot of important people, including the Governor Rick Perry at the time, the sheriff, every supervisor in the Midland Police Department, and I told the story of the secret police and all this. This was late 21. Next thing I know, on the news is reporting they're wanting this guy for attempted capital murder, and I'm thinking, well, maybe this guy is the one that shot me, because of the timing of it, okay. Well, then all of a sudden, the story changed, and you're going to see this, that they deleted the news story. That was what I was saying. They literally deleted the news story, okay, and they posted a second story saying wanted for fraudulent identities, okay. And well, he went from being wanted for capital attempted murder to fraudulent identities on the same day. Okay, and and the other thing I was wanting was the broadcast that was on the news that night, and it was probably Chris up there saying that he was wanted for capital attempted murder. That was the whole reason. And another thing that happened in January 3rd is I come home and I seen a guy parked across the street that I'd never seen before. I think it was 3805 Fair Circle. He was in this, I believe it was a gray truck, and he was switching vehicles into an SUV, and he was loading laundry baskets of clothes, and he looked just like this guy right here, Eric Perez. I called 911 and said, here's a sighting for a guy that's wanted for capital attempted murder. Of course, remember that News West 9 deleted the news story and changed their story. Now, and you'll see in the bigger story, it's also listed by the Odessa American that he was wanted for capital attempted murder. So it wasn't just News West 9, that, we made a mistake. No, it wasn't that, that he was obviously wanted for capital attempted murder, and they changed it. And I wonder if they didn't change it because the capital attempted murder charges might have been here at my house or something, And so there's more story than that, but what this is about is it started when I seen this morning this deleted news story for Sean Sanchez in Midland, and News West 9 deleted the news story from a year ago, and red flags went up, and it reminded me of them doing the mass deletions of all their Eric Perez stories after I tell them that I'm investigating it with connection to multiple murders, etc. And then not to mention the deletions back there in December 28, 2012. I have a feeling that Devin Sanchez could probably fill us in on what's going on. Might even know about the underground facility and all the crimes there. This is Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas.